Walking every day. If there were a pill that improved memory, increased creativity, reduced stress, and lowered the risk of dementia, it would become one of the most valuable medicines ever created. That pill already exists. It's called walking. Research has repeatedly shown that regular walking increases blood flow to the brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to your neurons. Even a simple 20 to 30-minute walk can significantly improve concentration and cognitive performance. But walking doesn't just make your brain work better in the short term. Studies have found that people who walk regularly tend to have larger hippocampi, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. In other words, taking a walk literally helps preserve and strengthen your brain structure. And if you've ever had a brilliant idea while walking, there's a reason for that too. Famous thinkers like Charles Darwin, Steve Jobs, and Albert Einstein all relied on walking to stimulate creative thinking. Sometimes the fastest way to think better is to slow down and take a walk. Getting enough sleep. Many people wear sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. I only slept 4 hours. I pulled an all-nighter. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Unfortunately, your brain disagrees. While you sleep, your brain performs some of its most important maintenance work. It organizes memories, strengthens neural connections, removes waste products, and essentially cleans itself. Scientists discovered that during sleep, the brain activates a special cleaning system called the glymphatic system. This system removes harmful proteins and toxins that accumulate throughout the day. Without enough sleep, these toxins build up, affecting memory, focus, mood, and long-term brain health. In fact, staying awake for 20 hours can impair your brain as much as being legally drunk. That's right, if you're sacrificing sleep to become more productive, you may actually be making yourself less productive. Most adults need between 7 and 9 hours of quality sleep every night. Your brain doesn't treat sleep as optional maintenance. It treats it as survival. Reading every day. Reading is essentially weightlifting for your brain. Every time you read, your brain performs an incredible balancing act. It recognizes symbols, processes language, creates mental images, predicts outcomes, stores information, and activates emotional responses, all at the same time. Researchers have found that regular readers develop stronger neural connections and better cognitive flexibility. Reading fiction is especially fascinating because it forces your brain to simulate experiences you've never actually had. This strengthens empathy, imagination, and emotional intelligence. Meanwhile, reading nonfiction expands knowledge networks and strengthens analytical thinking. Even just 15 to 20 minutes of reading per day can create long-term improvements in memory and cognitive performance. And unlike scrolling social media, reading trains your brain to sustain attention over longer periods. Your brain loves challenges. Books provide exactly that. Learning new skills. One of the worst things you can tell your brain is, I already know enough. The brain thrives on novelty. Whenever you learn a new skill, your brain forms entirely new neural pathways. The more challenging the activity, the stronger these connections become. This is why activities like learning a language, playing an instrument, cooking new recipes, drawing, coding, or solving puzzles can dramatically improve cognitive function. Researchers studying older adults discovered that people who consistently learned new skills maintained stronger memory and problem-solving abilities than those who repeated familiar routines. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you keep lifting the same tiny weight forever, you stop growing. Challenge creates growth. Comfort creates stagnation. Exercising regularly. Exercise doesn't just build muscles, it builds brains. Physical activity stimulates the release of a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Many scientists refer to BDNF as fertilizer for the brain because it helps neurons grow, survive, and form stronger connections. Studies show that regular exercise improves memory, concentration, decision-making, and emotional regulation. It also reduces the risk of depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's disease, and cognitive decline. The best part? You don't need to become an Olympic athlete. Even moderate exercise like cycling, swimming, jogging, dancing, or bodyweight workouts can provide enormous benefits. Your body moves, your brain improves. They're far more connected than most people realize. Staying social. Humans evolved as social creatures. And your brain still depends on social interaction to function at its best. Conversations force your brain to process language, emotions, facial expressions, memory, empathy, and problem solving, all simultaneously. Researchers have consistently found that socially active people tend to maintain stronger cognitive abilities as they age. In fact, loneliness has been linked to increased risks of depression, dementia, and cognitive decline. This doesn't mean you need hundreds of friends. Even meaningful conversations with family, friends, coworkers, or community groups can stimulate your brain in powerful ways. Your brain wasn't designed to work alone. It was designed to connect. Practicing mindfulness. Your brain spends a surprising amount of time not paying attention. Studies suggest that our minds wander nearly half of our waking hours. Mindfulness helps train your brain to focus intentionally rather than automatically. Researchers using brain scans discovered that regular meditation and mindfulness practice can physically alter brain structure, strengthening areas responsible for attention, emotional regulation, and memory. Even just 10 minutes of daily meditation can improve concentration and reduce stress levels. And stress matters, because chronic stress floods your brain with cortisol, a hormone that can damage memory centers over time. Mindfulness isn't about stopping your thoughts, it's about learning to direct them. And that's a superpower in today's distraction-filled world. Eating brain-friendly foods. Your brain represents only about 2% of your body weight, yet it consumes roughly 20% of your energy. In other words, your brain is incredibly expensive to operate, and what you feed it matters. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, vitamins, and healthy fats help protect brain cells and improve cognitive performance. Some of the most brain-friendly foods include fatty fish, blueberries, nuts, dark chocolate, eggs, leafy green vegetables, avocados, and surprisingly, coffee. Caffeine, when consumed in moderation, can improve alertness, focus, and memory performance. On the other hand, excessive sugar and highly processed foods may negatively affect memory and cognitive function over time. Your brain literally becomes what you feed it. Choose wisely. Drinking enough water. Dehydration affects your brain much faster than most people realize. Losing even a small amount of hydration can reduce concentration, memory, reaction time, and mood. Your brain is roughly 75% water. When hydration levels drop, brain cells struggle to communicate efficiently. This is why you might feel mentally exhausted, confused, or unable to focus after spending hours without drinking water. The solution is remarkably simple. Drink water regularly throughout the day. It may not sound revolutionary, but sometimes the simplest habits create the biggest improvements. Spending time in nature. Humans spent millions of years evolving outdoors. Cities, smartphones, and office buildings are incredibly recent inventions. Research has shown that spending time in nature reduces stress hormones, restores attention, improves memory, and boosts creativity. One famous study found that participants performed significantly better on creativity tests after spending several days immersed in natural environments. Even short visits to parks, forests, beaches, or gardens can improve cognitive performance. Nature doesn't just help you relax, it helps your brain reset, which may explain why some of your clearest thoughts happen far away from screens. Limiting constant digital stimulation. Modern technology is amazing, but your brain didn't evolve to process endless notifications, short videos, messages, advertisements, and distractions every waking minute. Constant stimulation trains your brain to seek novelty rather than sustain focus. This can weaken attention span and increase mental fatigue. Taking breaks from screens allows your brain to recover and regain its natural ability to concentrate deeply. Try spending even 30 minutes a day without checking your phone. No notifications, no scrolling, no distractions. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Then it starts feeling powerful. Staying curious. Perhaps the most powerful brain-boosting habit of all is curiosity. Curiosity transforms ordinary experiences into opportunities for learning. Curious people ask questions. They explore ideas. They challenge assumptions. They seek experiences beyond their comfort zones. And every time they do, their brains become stronger, more adaptable, and more intelligent. The greatest scientists, inventors, artists, and thinkers in history weren't necessarily born smarter. They simply never stopped being curious. Your brain is not a machine that eventually wears out. It's a living system designed to grow, and every question you ask becomes another opportunity to expand it. Because the truth is, becoming smarter isn't about finding one magical secret. It's about building dozens of tiny habits that slowly transform the most powerful machine you'll ever own: your brain. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to keep learning something new every single day. See you in the next video.